A very good evening from Archie McPherson. 36 years ago, Leicester City came to this very stadium on their first and regrettably last foray into Europe and lost 2-0, despite the fact that he had arguably the finest goalkeeper in the world in their side and who saved a penalty that night. And now sits beside me in this bakingly hot Madrid evening. Of course, I refer to Gordon Banks, from whom we'll hear in just a moment. While the Vicente Calderón Stadium is no Bernabeu. Indeed, comparing it to the Real Madrid's home is a bit like comparing a hamburger joint to a five-star hotel. But when it's filled to its near capacity of almost 55,000, then it can be a pretty scary sort of arena, as many a team will testify to. And the Atletico supporters played an integral part in their side winning the first League Cup double in their history 2 seasons ago. But it may be something of a relief for Leicester to come here to a stadium which is, I would judge, only about 2/3 full. And indeed, I got the impression tonight, coming in here, that perhaps the whole city of Madrid is underestimating Leicester, who I suppose is something of an unknown quantity to them. After all, Atletico have won the Cup Winners' Cup in '62, runners-up in '63 and '86, and the European Cup finalists in '74. That's a fair record. By comparison, you have to say Leicester's record is, shall we say, modest. And here we are, almost at the kickoff in this game tonight. An enormous piece of team selection there for Atletico is not only is Juninho fit to play after a tiny late scare, but their top goal scorer, Jose Caminero, is in the side. Well, Gordon, I saw you getting just slightly nervous towards the start of kickoff there as Kiko gets that ball up away by Elliott. Does it bring the memories flooding back?
Oh, it certainly does, Archie. I mean, you know, it was my first time in Europe playing with Leicester. It was their first time as well. We had a young side, a raw side. We'd had a great game at Leicester. We drew 1-1. They scored in the last 10 minutes of the game, but we really did outplay them that night. And to come here with a crowd of like 50, 60,000 people was a little bit awesome, but we settled down reasonably well. But they were the better side here. But we're given 2 penalties, and
well, almost a very startling moment down the left-hand side there. Good plays. Larden came down there, tried to swing that in.
Good defensive play by Walsh there, knocking it out. Centre forward behind him.
And the player they've got to watch here, Caminero. Watch Kiko as well. Both prolific strikers in the box, and that's taken away by Marshall of all people. Back there defending, and I think they all have to do that tonight, Gordon.
Yeah, definitely, Archie. Look how he's whipping these crosses in as well from the corner. They could be really dangerous at this, but knowing the Leicester defenders, they'll stick to the duty of the team itself, not just defenders. The team itself will stick to the task, I'm sure, and should be able to cope with that.
And do you think K-Mark's going to be breathing down the neck of Juninho? Almost they need a plastic surgeon to separate them in the cup finals they played.
Yeah, I'm certain that Martin O'Neill's going along with the task that he did against Middlesbrough in that final, and let's hope that you know, the other players don't come into the fore if we can keep Juninho at bay.
Now there's Kiko trying to go around the back there. Elliott coming in very quickly to touch that away. Now, of course, they've not had the good start that Leicester have had. They lost to Athletic Bilbao at the weekend, whereas Leicester had a superb victory over Spurs, and there, surely, a free kick, and that was, I think that was right to the chin there, Gordon.
It was a naughty foul, it really was. He flicked it over him, and out come the elbow. Look, I mean, normally a player gets booked to centre for that.
Well, that was Prodan going in here. Now, Prodan is a very tough character. He comes from Balkan football. Played international for Romania. Came from Steaua Bucharest this season to give some steel to the side. Would you believe? There's a little touch there and just passed.
Good effort.
I think Walsh is going to come forward a lot, but I think Marshall got in there too.
I think we could cause them problems though, Archie. Leicester can cause them problems with those sort of free kicks, because they are exceptional in the air, and they could get results from that.
Marshall going forward, the Ipswich and Everton player. They're going to watch him going down the left though. Particularly strong there.
Good ball, that.
And I just get the impression from the first corner kicks that Leicester will know how to defend them all right. At least they're predictable. They know how they're going to come.
Yeah, I think they've got an idea now, and they get the big men back. Look, there's Esky back there and Marshall's back there. Big Walshy in the centre. I hope they can make sure they get these away.
Swings, and again, and this time too much. Well, I think the sight that Casey Keller would like is a ball very securely in his hands. As it is now, he's getting a good feel of the ball. I think he would like a direct shot just to get a little bit into the swing of the game. That ball swinging. These corner kicks are well swerved in towards goal, and this, of course, is the goalkeeper who spends a lot of his time living out of a suitcase, going to the United States to play in their efforts to qualify for the World Cup, and a very fine goalkeeper.
Yes, he is. Excellent goalkeeper. Been an excellent buy for Leicester City.
But can I ask you this? You did say he wears spectacles ordinarily, and I wonder what he's going to be like in floodlights.
I think he'll be all right. Archie's, you know, he's used to playing under lights. I can't see any reason why he shouldn't be prepared for the eventualities out here tonight.
Played out here to Caminero. Caminero lying on the left-hand side and almost picked up there. Heskey tried to get away with it, but it's going to be offside. I like the look of Emil Heskey, only 19, two-footed player. Won an under-21 cap last season, full of running.
Yeah, good player, Archie. He's very strong, very powerful. And if he gets the ball at his feet running at the fullback and he pushes it past him, he could cause problems tonight.
That's Andre putting it down. Nicely touched out there by K-Mark. So far, nothing of Juninho. Maybe that's a good sign. And offside again. That ball played out to the left, and no chance of picking that up. So still no scoring. We played about 6 minutes. Now here Juninho. K-Mark indeed tried to fasten on to him. Is it as well? That's another curling ball and hesitation. That time by Keller. Well, Gordon is one of the best between the sticks. There might have just been a second thought in his mind there.
It's curling away from him, Archie. That was the thing. They whip these crossings so well, and they look as though they're coming towards the goalkeeper, but they've hit it with the inside of the foot to curl it away from him. So he might have done the right thing. They're letting it go.
Tony coming up with that. Heskey coming back. As I said, they're all back now. All 11 Leicester players behind the ball. Plenty time indeed for that to be brought down by Tony. Try to flick that on Vizcaino. Well, I think if he picks the ball up here, Heskey makes longish runs or plays it out wide like that. Oh. Now this is it. Muzzy, is it? Look for a little 1-2. Marshall just gabbing it out there and wouldn't go for the return. Little bit of misunderstanding between the two players there, but you'll get this on a night of great tension. Split inside there to Andre. Andre, tall, powerful player. Shifted out here to Jelly. Well, that was played again into Vieri. Vieri, of course, the ex-Juventus player. And again, a contrast that really has to be brought out is that this club, under the stewardship of perhaps the most controversial chairman in the business, Jesus Gilles, has spent £34 million in the close season to reconstruct the side, which compares to the, I think they saved up the jelly jars at Leicester by comparison with that.
I'd like to think that Leicester, they just seem as though they're just settling a little bit now, Archie. I'd like to think that they're going to start knocking it around like they did in last attack, even though it didn't come into anything. Just like to think that they're going to get it down, have the confidence to go forward playing football rather than just the long ball.
Parker with the long ball this time, and the challenge by the goalkeeper, slightly late there by Molina. I think the man just in front of him got that away, Andre, more than his touch.
He'll win that.
Yeah.
Good header from Walsh there.
Walsh right in the middle, playing the captain's part, but picked up by Caminero. And good covering again. Leicester playing that splendidly. Lennon coming in. I think it'll be very dangerous to take one-on-ones like that. No offside this time, and very coolly played by Molina. Played out, nudged away forward there by Kiko. A nice flowing movement again there by Atletico, but I think significantly, Gordon, Leicester are shaping well. You know, they're getting players back.
That's right, Archie. I mean, if Leicester City can force them wide like that, I mean, that's fine. You're not going to get a lot of danger out there as regards to scoring opportunities. It's down the middle that they could create.
Swerving in again, a good save by Keller. That's more positive. And the break, oh, that's a bad foul, surely, as Neil Lennon has brought down. The Irishman falls, and only a little word of rebuke from the Norwegian referee, Roy Helge Olsen. Would you have been as beneficent as that, Gordon?
If it was the other way, Archie, that's the only problem. They'll always bring the card out to the visiting team, won't they? You know, they won't bring the card out for the home side.
Pesky wins the corner kick, using that inevitable strength of his. I believe his nickname is Bruno amongst the fans for very obvious reasons.
Yeah, he's only a young lad, but my goodness me, he's got some speed and strength.
Another corner kick taken by Parker, I think, at the far side, or else Guppy trotting out there. I think he'll take it left-footed.
Just slowly push men up now. I didn't think they were going to send as many up, but they've done the right thing.
Cleared there by Andre again, who's looking very useful in the air. There's no offside. Marshall getting an effort, and again. And his first touch, I think, just let him down in a very good position.
It was a good opportunity there, wasn't it? It dropped to him, nobody marking him look at all. Pulled it down well, and there was his chance there. He sliced at it, missed the first time, and then got a slight deflection the second.
Oh, but a very good and promising start here by Leicester. That's towards the far post again. There's Walsh in with a goal. He's done it, Marshall. Ian Marshall puts Leicester ahead in exactly 11 and a half minutes, and oh dear, any coach around Europe would give a king's ransom to score an away goal at any time, but at such an early stage of the game, no wonder the manager, Radomir Antic, is out there looking anxious.
Yeah, Steve Walsh on the far post again. I knew it. I thought he'd create trouble. Knocks it back across goal. And there's Marshall walloping it in. Great goal. What a lovely start for Leicester this is.
That looks a very fragile defence. The goalkeepers looked slightly nervous a couple of minutes before that.
Marking's very bad though, isn't it, Archie? In that 6-yard area, leaving men on their own. But this is great for Leicester. May they do it again.
There's Marshall running away to appropriate tributes. Huge Leicester support. I think there must be, well, relatively speaking, about 3,000 or 4,000 on the ground now. And there's Jesus Gil, looking like a very solemn Buddha in the middle of his sanctuary there. And you know, he's sacked 27 managers in 7 years.
I'm surprised they get another one, Archie.
Well, he's not looking too happy, and I can hardly blame him after that very good start. You know, the word I would use about this Leicester performance just now is invigorating.
Yeah, it's a good start for them, but there's a long way to go yet. I mean, you know, they shouldn't now sit back on the laurels. They should keep possession when they have it, and don't give it away, and just play as they are doing with confidence.
Picked up. Turned down there to Caminero, who's come back very deep. Just pushed out there. Vieri tried to get it out. And that's a very good play by Izet. That was another good buy by Martin O'Neill. Here it is again, by the way, Gordon.
Yeah, Walsh knocked it back Goalkeeper, no chance. It's knocked across the goal. There's no chance, but the marking's so poor. As I say, let's have another one, please.
Well, they're getting a free kick for that, but I just got the impression that he may have been boring down and his own momentum carried him forward. But in any case, Juninho going out to that far side, and so far he's been rendered anonymous. And I think the play has flowed past him. It's not so much that he's a failure himself, but here he goes, Juninho. And touched again by Elliott.
That's a dangerous ball, Artie.
A very dangerous one, but they've got so many players coming back, picking up in the right places at the right time. Nervy moments from these cross balls, but they have coped with them well. Now here's a direct shot and goal, and it's brilliant to save. Keller.
Good save.
Vizcano comes forward, and let's rip with that.
Yes, it's ball back, running onto it, nobody with him. It's side footer really, but it's pushed it over. He's made sure.
Well, the man who shot that in has already scored 31 goals in league football, coming from positions like that. Started off his career with Zaragoza and scored 6 last season. So Casey Keller, ex-Millwall man, of course, man of the match, and that cup semi-final. I remember a great save he had from Emerson in that game. I mean, it really was stunning.
Oh, yeah, he's had it since he got his transfer from Millwall.
That's another free kick, and surely the referee cannot delay long, dipping into his pocket for the yellow card.
It's a bit naughty that again. But since his transfer from Millwall, Casey Keller's been a really great stalwart for City. He's done a magnificent job back there, and of course when you have somebody like him in goal, gives confidence to the rest.
Parker. I don't think they're going to take these set positions very well now, Atletico. I'm astonished, but he is playing outside there. Lennon trying to get it over. Parker too far that time. I'm astonished. He must have done homework on Walsh, and away he comes up for the set positions.
You would think so. I mean, he does it week in and week out. Oh dear, that was dangerous.
Just touched back, but he did the right thing, Keller. Into Vizcano. Good tackling by Leicester again. Izet goes forward. There's no offside.
Yeah,
oh, there is.
It's offside.
Just now. In fact, a lady. Let's see from there. Look at the player playing one side in the middle, Gordon.
Yeah, yes, yeah, he was onside. But you're right, they should be you'd have thought they'd have had somebody watching Leicester know that Walsh is always there on the far post.
Kiko tried to put that down, played out to this near side now. Guppy goes away on his favourite left-hand side. Steve Guppy. Wonderful crosser of a ball with his left hand when he comes down the left-hand side. Bit like Bjornby plays for Liverpool, you know, both great deliverers of lead balls.
Yeah, he does. Crosses a good ball.
Once again, Emil Heskey trying to sneak that. The man who went to the same school as Gary Lineker. It's a very close community up there. I think they all still live around that area, some of the ex-players, Gordon.
They've all learned from Gary Lineker, I think. Yes, yeah, there's some...
Not at the same time as Gary Lineker, I hasten to add.
No. He's a little bit younger than that.
Marshall. Dipped inside there by Larden, looking a bit more prominent. Lennon coming back, tackling fearsomely but fair in midfield, and a little bit of dubiety about whether he should touch that or not, but he allowed it to go.
I would think he'd had a call from Casey Keller there to leave it, because he wouldn't have let that ball go across behind him, across the goal, because he wouldn't know if anybody's behind him or not. So Casey must have shouted there.
Well, I can assure you that just underneath us in the Vicente Calderon Stadium, there's a rather stunned Atletico audience. Really are very quiet.
Yeah, the noise is coming from the City supporters, definitely.
think there's been a little disrespect to Leicester City, you don't mind me saying so. I think the Madrienos here have thought, well, sort of, who are Leicester City? You know, they don't have any great European names, not one of the great European clubs, but they surely have seen the recent form.
Well, not only that, Archie, but with a club like Leicester are not on television very much. It's always the top sides, isn't it? They're on television, like the Arsenal, like Manchester United and Liverpool's and so forth. So they don't know much about us, and I think you're right. I think they have taken this game with a pinch of salt, thinking it was going to be easy. And
Ray tried to put it forward again, and look at the cluster of Leicester players there in the right area, all behind the ball again. That was a challenge, or Parker just about to challenge for that. And too many of these Atletico passes being picked up there, absorbed by the front of Leicester's midfield. That's all very useful. But they can pick the ball up there, the better the break. Little touch on there, that's good play, and that just over the top.
That was their best move yet, that, wasn't it? A lovely ball to the forward and pushing it back, playing a lovely 1-2, and he found space to get a shot in here. Push and run.
Beautiful touch inside by Kiko.
And a great left foot shot. That's very, very close.
Yeah, Proden coming in for that.
Good move.
Well, I make it exactly 20 minutes gone. That's by my watch. And here they go again down the left-hand side. Well, that's very good play again. Pryor coming forward, knocking that away. Seeing a little bit more of the ball in midfield, Atletico now. Cleared there by Andre again. Marshall trying to pick that up. Jelly. Here's Juninho. This is the first real run we've had by Juninho in the game, and looking dangerous. Offside though. And that's the first time he's really, in that typical piercing manner of his, had a go at the Leicester defence.
Yeah, it's first time he's actually got through. It was offside. Yeah, it's definitely offside. I mean, I don't know why the crowd are roaring. It's slightly close, but he was definitely off. If you're off, you're off. That's it. But yeah, they just, as you said, just getting a hold of it in midfield. I think what Leicester have to do, Archie, if they can, is not to play too many long balls up to Heskey. I think they've got to try and build just a little bit more and keep possession more, because the long ball inevitably gives them possession a little bit too much, I think.
Well, he's been left on his own, of course, and that's the fate of so many strikers playing away from home, and right. Too often midfielders cut out just to get to him. But I take your point, and here's a free kick. Clearly they'll keep their eyes on Walsh this time.
Is that the far post again?
Elliott is up as well. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on in that box. And this time no challenge on the goalkeeper, Jose Molina. Juninho touches it inside, is it? And played inside by Vizcano. And almost contemptuously coming away there, Spencer Pryor.
This is where we need to keep possession now.
Well, you know, I've been watching this game. We've gone halfway through this first half, and you know, I've seen a lot of European games, and what I like about this team, without outstanding players, outstanding stars yet, maybe not so much household names, but what they have is shape and purpose and organisation, and that's great right. Credit to O'Neill.
That's right. Martin's really got them to play for each other. He's got them to work for each other, and that's half the battle when a club hasn't got a lot of money to spend. If the manager can get them to believe that they can play, and they work for each other, support each other, and belief that they can play, then they'll have success like Leicester City have done.
Offside. 23 minutes gone. Picked up by Vizcano, picking a lot up deep in his own half though, and looking for the diagonal runs. Well, back to Tony. Andre. Touched inside by Caminero. Has been very quiet as well. That's run by Vieri. It was Vieri who had that original shot, by the way. Very good shot. After the 1-2. There's a long ball forward. There's no offside, but just overstruck there. Having said about the long ball, I think if they're pushing forward and look a little bit flat, Gordon, maybe that's not a bad notion.
If that ball's on and Emil Leicester can keep onside, it can be very, very dangerous for Atletico, because he's got the pace to pull away from people.
If you're just joining us, Gordon Banks has joined me, Archie McPherson, in the Vicente Calderon Stadium, where with about 24 minutes gone, Leicester have had a wonderful start. A goal by Ian Marshall, which gives them a 1-0 lead at this stage, and there were 3 against 2 there. Leicester lucky to survive that one. Ball picked up by Marshall, lying deep and brought down. Free kick.
I've noticed, Archie, that Leicester are gambling a little here. I've noticed 2 or 3 times it's man for man at the back, and nobody covering. It's a gamble, but at this moment in time, it seems to be paying dividends.
Tiscano, Kiki. Touch back by Vieri. Jelly with the curling ball again, and this time Keller takes it easily.
Oh, man down.
Yes, and he puts that away. Looks like Ian Marshall done on that far side. And they must be wondering. That's Prodan, by the way. Number 23 you saw there. Again, as I said, one of the players they brought in to add substance to the side. Daniel Prodan, 25, and there's the injury. Got to watch this, of course. There's going to be some hard tackling in the game and a lot of running. And did he take him?
I think he stood.
Yeah, he did.
I think he stood on his leg. Yeah, there, look, stood right on his leg.
And quite frankly, I think he knew what he was doing.
Oh dear.
Imagine playing hopscotch with a calf muscle.
Again, it's a bit naughty. It's cut it, look. He's got to go. It's cut it.
Well, I think that was deliberate.
Could have been. It could have been, yeah.
Off he goes anyway. That's a sad sight. The man who scored the goal as Leicester lead by 1-0. Well, Gordon Banks, decided improvement in what happened to you all these years ago.
Oh, that's right, Archie. We had 2 penalties given against us, and they were given. I tell you, they were really gives, because they were very dubious. And of course, they scored one, and I saved one. But we still went down, unfortunately, 2-0.
So Leicester lead by 1-0. Tony, Tiscano, Jelly. Leicester not breaking this time, leaving Lennon in midfield there, Neil Lennon, to make the attack on the player. There's Vieri. Vieri just playing in behind. That's a lovely ball that was played forward there. And they really have to watch Kiko coming in.
It's a good run, wasn't it? It's a great run by Kiko.
And Caminero, I think, and Kiko both together raiding that box well now.
Yes, that was a great run, great ball. If it had controlled, it might have been a wee bit of trouble there for the City.
Picked up by Jelly again, getting a lot of balls inside. Now Vieri, the man from Juventus. Well, that looked very predictable indeed. He seemed to run out of ideas there, Christian Vieri.
He was looking for the free kick, wasn't he, Archie?
To the whole host of clubs at the age of 24. Torino, Pisa, Atlanta, Juve, and Atletico. And you know, when a team is having to work very hard and probably be a little bit defensively inclined just now, it is tempting to hit the long ball away.
Yes, it is, but this is what I meant by a really class side will keep possession. They won't look for the long ball all the time. Obviously, there are times when you have to kick it clear, but when you've got time on the ball, you should come out and support and keep a hold of it.
Leonard.
And Leicester have done this in the Premier. This is the thing, they've done it in the Premier, and I'd like, obviously, to see them do it tonight if they got the confidence to do it.
Crawdad puts it in. That's a better ball again, and Vieri came forward. Came rattling in there, Vieri.
Good marking again, though.
About 17 minutes remaining of this half. Well, you know, when I see them playing short balls like that against fast, nippy raiders, they are gambling.
Well, they are and they're not. It's a matter of confidence, Archie. And though they're playing away from home, you know, if they're gonna be a top side, then this is what they have to do in this sort of a climate.
And I think we may be on the verge of a substitution.
Probably Claridge, I would think, coming on, is it?
That's very sad. I think it's now looking likely that Claridge is about to come on, the substitute. I think they've had a look at Ian Marshall, and it doesn't look too good. We shall see in a moment or two.
I thought I saw the trainer making look as though he needed stitches. That's why he's probably gone off.
Round the outside it goes. Beautifully cut off there. These two central defenders have been quite outstanding. That's one of them, Elliott, getting right behind there, and the two of them together. And the referee, despite the fact that the Atletico Madrid supporters are on their feet screaming at him, says no penalty. Elliott and Pryor together.
Just a little nudge in the back, but there's no penalty there at all.
Yes, they're trying to catch the referee's attention now, and it looks as if Claridge will come on. Yep. Steve Claridge, and they're just touched away.
Just past the post.
Well, I think they delayed the substitution there.
Good corner again, though, Archie. Look, whipped in. You know, a defender's not got a great deal of time to get there when they punched in like that. It's a great corner kick. You know, you can't really blame defenders for things like that. When the player leaves his defender and gets to the ball first when that ball's whipped in, there's not much they can do.
Well, they're allowing Juninho to roam a bit. He's been doing a lot down the left-hand side, or trying to get the ball down the left-hand side. Caminero. There he is. It's been a very modest performance by Juninho. And on his form, he really is a beautiful player to watch. I mean, we saw him on Eurosport playing in Brazil football, and here he goes again, and he was like a newspaper boy who had wandered onto the pitch by mistake, and they'd asked him to stay because of his great ability. And you know, tonight he's been sort of lost. Yeah,
well, again, Leicester, you know, the Oracle, they've got put somebody on him that's kept him quiet, and he just as he did in that game with Middlesbrough, he's had very little of the ball. And
there he is, Juninho now trying to go way in there. A free kick against him. Used to say about him that he wouldn't last in English football, but you know, he played in Brazilian club football, which is brutal at times.
Yes, and he did well. He did well in the Premier, didn't he? I mean, you can't say a bad word against the man. He excited people. But what Leicester have done the homework, because what they've said is we can't allow him to run at our defence and take people on, which that's his strength. And I think that's great of the manager again.
Trying to get it to Heskey. Certainly he's bold enough, even at that tender age, to take on very experienced players. I mean, he's playing against internationals out there tonight. And well, he's performed exceptionally well. Andre in particular seems to be trying to deal with him. Now out it goes to the outside again, claiming a free kick, and this time I think they'll get it.
Yes.
Tackle there by Lennon.
Dangerous position this, Archie, isn't it?
Little bit of linguistics going on there between them.
The way that Juninho can bend the ball, they've probably got other people in there that can curl the ball. This is a very dangerous position now for Leicester.
And also Andre is coming up. He can certainly thunder them in.
Yeah.
But Juninho stepping back here. Andre having a look at the defensive setup. Keller in goal. Tense, and there's the effort, and Keller.
Good save.
Excellent free kick there.
Yeah, look at the way it's curled over the top of the heads. I always think they can jump, you know, the Italian walls jump for a free kick like that, so they get another couple of feet, and it certainly just went over the City heads, as it were, and just went round. Kelly just got to get across to save it. Good save.
Forward by Andre. Jelly picking up. Caminero.
City.
Down to Jelly. And Walsh stepping in there. Whipping that away safely. Well, I think these tackles from the back like that, and this time by Guppy, will inevitably bring a free kick with this referee. Caminero going down. Caminero slightly disappointed, but as I said before the start, Gordon, there seemed to be a little bit of doubt about his fitness for the game tonight.
Yes, yeah, he's not really looked 100%, has he? But that's a silly tackle, really. He's gone through the back of him, and really they can't afford to give those sorts of free kicks away.
Well, a sign of the way the game is going, the Atletico players and their supporters are shouting for virtually anything that gives, or that they might get something out of, complaining about the way the ball was put back. And Juninho, Caminero, Kiko, that's a brilliant ball inside and well anticipated and right beyond. Viere coming in, and one of the best moves of the game so far.
Oh, it's a good move, isn't it, Archie? It really split Leicester wide open. A lovely ball down for the outside left there. The way he shoves an early ball across the goal, look. Oh, that's a great ball. A bit unlucky, and of course Leicester have got to really make sure that they're marking these guys when they're making those sort of forward runs. And
it did show you the pace that they have on the side as well. Prodan exceptionally fast.
Yes.
So, and Lardin, of course, both of them coming up frequently. Well, Lardin is an exceptional player, of course. He has that pace. You saw how he gets into the box. Ex-Espanyol players. Paid $4 million for him.
Yeah, it was a good move, that. And as you say, it shows the speed. They can really accelerate when they know that space is on and that ball's going to come.
Played inside. Iscano not getting as much of the play as he did earlier on, and just touched past there as Pryor tried to get hold of it. Another throw there into Juninho. Doesn't seem to be relishing this game tonight, but you never know with him, and that is just inside there, and no flag as Caminero went forward. And I think a fully fit Caminero might just have got to that. He seems to me to have a kind of muscular tension tonight.
I'm not sure whether Casey should have come for that one. It was quite close to the goal, but fortunately Leicester got away with that.
And I think significantly at this stage, with about 8 minutes to go to half time, looks as if Atletico are coming more and more into this game. That's the ball that Caminero almost touched.
I think he was looking for the goalkeeper to come for it.
Nice little run in the outside, but I think the referee's awarding a corner kick. Certainly surprised the Atletico players. Quite adamant about it. And once again, Walsh is not exactly running forward to this, because let me remind you, around about 6 o'clock tonight, it was something like 26 degrees in Madrid. So that's another factor that has to be looked at very carefully, and they're straight to Molina. And I think these players will have to pace themselves as Vieira goes for that. I think he's finding it difficult though against Elliott.
Good play by Elliott. I like this lad Elliott. I think he's a good player. Exceptionally good player.
He certainly goes in very intelligently. When they signed him, it was a club record at the time, 1.6 million from Oxford. Tragedy for him, he missed the Wembley Cup final. Awkward one for Keller. Concedes the corner kick. Now this is a very crucial moment in any game at all. We've got about, I think about 6 minutes remaining of this half. And Leicester will want to keep it up here. Well, coming from the back was Jelly to try to supplement the attack that Caminero was making coming forward. Still 1-0. Well, usually the crowd in here is a very vociferous audience, but they've been effectively silenced by that early goal.
I noticed at the last corner kick that Walsh had gone up again and nobody was picking him up. He was just inside the penalty and he was waving for the corner kick, and he was quite annoyed when he didn't get it. But you'd have thought they'd be watching him a little bit more.
Well, Claridge, of course, did come on eventually. Claridge on number 9. Then one of these players you can rely on to make a real team effort. Played a major part with 21 goals, no less. That's the number 9 for the people outside of Leicester who don't know this team all that well, who's just come on. Of course, the man who scored the League Cup winner. He's on the field now. Kiko trying to go in there, and the shooting a little bit wild. And I think they're being put off. That was Lardin this time.
I don't think that was created, though. It was a little mistake there by one of the Leicester defenders. They had the ball actually, and they just miscontrol it, and it went to him for a shot.
Keller should deal with this. Offside again, I think. Atletico maybe ominously seeing a lot more of the ball. And coming into the play now, both Kiko, Caminero and Vieri all interchanging well. This is Caminero. Little dab forward. There is Kiko. Right in on the goalkeeper. Remember him as the man who scored the winning goal in the Olympics in Barcelona for Spain in the last seconds of the game, which has kind of immortalized them. And a free kick.
Yeah, the crowd are complaining there, Archie, but he wanted to see if Leicester had got possession so he could wave play on, but they didn't, and then he blew for the free kick, which the crowd went a bit silly about, which was silly in itself.
Well, they've broken up the attacks though, Gordon.
Yes.
There has been a certain amount of fluency in the last 10 minutes from Atletico, but not really threatening.
No, they're not really splitting that defence wide open at all, are they?
No offside. The goalkeeper commits himself, and away it goes into the crowd. Charging figure there of Emil Heskey.
Yeah, he's got a lonely task up there, hasn't he? He's battling away. They'll be making a lot of those runs. I
just wonder, one of these lads who, scores significant goals. When he made his debut for England under 21, he scored. So we might get a European goal off him as well tonight. Certainly been in there. There's one, a chance. No, and it's off the side net. Wow. If he hadn't touched that, that was falling to the man I was saying.
Correct.
Could get that goal.
Oh, he was in nearly an own goal, so close. Goalkeeper had committed himself for the cross. Guy stuck his leg out and it just hit the side of the post.
Andre it was who reached across for that. Well, there was little else he could do. That was almost 2. What a goal that would have been 3 minutes from half-time. Walsh there again, not this time. Kmart putting it out there, then Elliott. Heskey, lovely ball inside. Claridge with a lovely little touch, and it's just over.
That's excellent.
Glorious move there again by Leicester, and Claridge, maybe had he been on from the start, I don't know, substitutes coming on, hasn't been on all that long. Gordon.
Lovely header from Heskey there, bouncing straight at Claridge, nobody marking him, tried a little lob. He was very, very unlucky. That was a good effort.
Really was. I doubt very much if he could have done any better. Well, he could have scored, of course, but the way he took it was the right way to take it.
He did exceptionally well. He was very, very unlucky.
Here's Larden again. The man has been making the runs down the left-hand side and looking by far the most prominent player. Heskey picks it up and gets another free kick, enraging the Madrid crowd.
I think they're shouting through frustration, Archie. This is frustration because the team aren't creating and scoring, I think.
Well, the referee wants the card out. At long last, Vizcaino gets it. And actually, I think it was simply the nearest man to them because they all could have been yellow carded.
Yeah, it's for arguing that.
Anyway, just before half-time, it does break up the pattern of the play again, I think, with Leicester leading by 1-0. That's exactly what they want to do. But oh, so near the second goal. That's a very good sign for the future, I think, both for Leicester and English football. And that lad up front there is playing with great maturity and courage. I mean, he's against, let's be honest, from the Fowl and Marshall, quite cynical defenders. And he's sticking to his task. Look at him again.
Yeah, he's prepared to have a go. He's prepared to take people on. And he's prepared to take the knocks, which obviously he'll get it at this level of football.
Well, the gentleman giving him the message there was Tony, the captain.
There's Walsh again, look.
He's coming up again, and Tony may regret this. Touch there again, and
just took it off his head.
Now the break. This is what they've got to watch. Larden's on the far side, so is Vieri, but well cut off, neatly touched away. And a combination of moves there in midfield, started by Kmart. Larden, first touch let him down. And I don't think it was the moment for creativity across in that far side.
No, you're dead right, Archie. Let's clear our lines in those circumstances.
Better ball. Larden. Back they come again. That played out for a corner kick. And all giving great support in this game. Is it Lennon, Parker?
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they do in the Premier. They're supporting, helping each other, working for each other, Archie.
Into stoppage time in the first half, and I think a free kick awarded and very quickly taken. And the corner kick given. So we have Juninho going across on that far side.
Smothering that 6-yard box. Look at them.
In it goes. Neatly held.
He can't hang on to it too long, though. That's a problem. He's got the whatever it is, 5 seconds. Is it now? 6 seconds.
Nicely brought down there by Parker. Trying to put it forward to Guppy. That's Kiko, the passing just a little bit erratic at the moment. Nice inside by Izzet. Claridge chasing after that to try and pressurize Yeli. Nicely taken there. Parker comes away with it. Claridge. Giving good backing by Guppy. That's a left-footed ball of his. Just a little bit short in that. Steve Guppy, the ex-Port Vale player, had a stint at Newcastle, by the way. Short spell there under Kevin Keegan. Before moving on. And Casey Keller. Keller, I think, is going to qualify for France. It looks as if the States will get there as the half-time whistle goes. And a complaint by Juninho there. And Leicester, that name of Leicester, I think, might yet come to haunt this young, talented Brazilian, because his side are trailing 1-0.